very compliant. He does have a pistol on him, so we're gonna take it. Where's your pistol at? On my side. Okay. So put your hands on top of the vehicle for me. I appreciate it, man. Oh yeah. You okay? Put the gun down. Put it down. You okay?
A routine traffic stop in Florida ends with the driver of the car shot with his own gun by a police officer.
Absolutely disgusting.
This is something that should never, absolutely never happen. And yeah, cops are not all gun experts. Some cops only touch their guns when they have to shoot for qualification. I understand that. But this is just crazy. Florida, first of all, is not a duty to report state. You don't have to tell the officer that you have a gun, but if they ask, yes, you have to tell them the truth. And it's also a constitutional carry state, so you don't have to have a concealed carry permit or anything. But this video is just horrifying. I was about to say, Ed, what do you think went wrong? And I know you're going to say everything. But looking at this, man, it just makes my stomach turn.
When you ask, what do I think went wrong? Yeah, the flippant answer is everything. However, it raises a lot of questions that a lot of law enforcement officers with whom I do not share opinions on guns have been angry about for a long time. Whatever happened to the good old days, Kevin, where anybody you saw with a gun who wasn't a cop was a bad guy?
Right.
That's how a lot of them honestly feel.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've heard people say we're going to put them on the ground.
Yep.
If somebody's carrying a gun, we're going to put them on the ground.
Right.
That's not the way cops should be acting.
No. And as bad as that is, this video also reminded me of why I like the styles of holsters that I like. The styles of holsters that I prefer inside the waistband are borderline retention or retention holsters, meaning it's very difficult to pull that gun out unless you know exactly how to do so. And B, as much as some people think they're for little kids and people who need their mittens clipped to their sleeves, I like clips rather than loops. The one-way snap loops, you either have to try to walk them through how to take off a one-way snap in order, or you have to undo your belt, or even worse, you say, well, just pull the gun out. No.
Yeah.
Don't pull my gun out at all. This is a traffic stop, ma'am. For whatever reason you think it is absolutely essential that you get a hold of my gun, I'm going to walk you through this nice and slow. I've also been in law enforcement. You're going to put your thumb on the inboard side, on the smooth leather on the back, and you're going to use your index and your middle finger to pull up on that clip, and the whole thing, holster and gun, is going to come out.
And that's exactly what they had there. They had an inside the waistband holster with a metal clip over the belt.
Yeah, that's not the kind of clip I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love various super strong metal clips because they're really good for holding stuff on. They're more difficult to take off.
Right. And in this situation, I mean, it just stresses again that unintentional discharge, or negligent, in this case, negligent discharge, happens during administrative handling. It's not when you're under stress and you're pulled your gun out and there's a bad guy and you're going to deal with that. Almost all of these unintended discharge with injury, negligent, whatever we want to call this, happens during administrative handling. And there's 2-3 cops standing around this poor guy. He did everything right. And the cop is reaching for the gun and then actuates the trigger, shoots him in his own leg with his own gun. We need better training for police officers when you're doing something like this.
Moreover, he was carrying a gun when you pulled him over. And he was carrying a gun when you walked up to the vehicle, and he was carrying a gun while you were talking to him, and he was carrying a gun as he got out of the vehicle. So far, he hasn't done any furtive movements. If you demand that for some reason that gun has to come out of that holster, how about we stop doing everything else and all four of us only concentrate on that? And step one, you and I both remember this from whenever you're trying to help people, ask.
Yeah. How does this work?
How does this work? Yeah. What's up? Like if somebody hands you a gun that you don't know how to use, you don't immediately start fiddling with it. Mm-hmm. You either say, hang on a second, please explain to me how that works, or do something other than immediately start fiddling with it.
Right. and seeing them reach for this firearm, and you're right, that
he hadn't
entire
done
unit,
anything with it the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
why are we all going for our guns right now?
He told them they had it. Again, he did everything right. He told the cops that he had a gun. He was very cooperative. He was friendly. He wasn't rude. He was doing everything that we've told people to do on a traffic stop. This guy was doing, and still got shot with his own gun. This is just absolutely insane. And at that point, I don't know why the officer needed to reach for the gun. Maybe the driver, or if you're in this position, you as the driver say, wait a minute, I'll reach down here. You guys can do whatever you want, and I can get this thing out in its holster. You know, and the holster protects the trigger and everything. I can do that for you. I'm not going to grab the gun and do anything. I have been decent this entire time. And yes, there are some criminals who are charming enough to get close and strike then and there. But man, this thing just went bad right from the beginning. And I don't even know what suggestion I would make other than don't take the gun. I only have taken away one gun on a traffic stop because it was laying on the front seat. Other people have told me they've had guns on them. I'm like, don't reach for yours and I won't reach for mine. I knew that they had that firearm right there. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. All right, now reach over to your glove compartment or wherever you're going to get your driver's license or registration. Pull that out. And yeah, it just, I don't know. I just hated this thing from beginning to end, especially having worked as a cop, having been there on the traffic stop with people with guns. I don't like anything about this video.
Sick to my stomach.
Hey, before you go, let me ask you, are you breaking these gun laws without even knowing it? Get a free concealed carry map that reveals the gun laws in your state and the states you might be traveling to. Click the link in the description below to check it out.